Good job, me. Midwest Regional Conference.
What?
Oh, we're hot.
For Noyce.
Our microphone's on. Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to this week's Learning Space. Yay!
Hello.
We have a full jacket of guests this week. So I am Nicole Gugliucci.
I'm Georgia Bracey.
And we are your hosts from CosmoQuest. So thank you for joining us this week. Feel free to share the link. Share this hangout with people. I know this is late for our European friends. Sorry, Guido. I think you said it's 1:30 a.m. his time.
Still up, aren't you?
You're still up.
Come on. He is.
Hey, Guido. And Nancy. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, Nancy.
As usual, we will be using the Q&A app to get your questions. So wherever you're watching this, if on Google+, YouTube, or anywhere that it's embedded, click on the Q&A app to join the conversation, and we will see your comments and questions there. And I will try and keep on top of them and keep them coming throughout the show. So anytime you want to add in a comment or a question, just feel free to send it in there, and we'll get it on the show. So we have a huge group of awesome people with us today. We somehow managed this with under 10 connections. I'm actually quite impressed. So what we're talking about is the Noyce Scholarship Program through the National Science Foundation. If you want to learn more about the program in general, it's nsfnoyce, NOYCE.org. I'll share that link in the show notes and in the comments in a bit. But first, I'd like to hear from each of these lovely people at their lovely institutions. And as I mentioned in the pre-show, I'm going to start left to right from how I see it. It's going to be slightly different for you guys. But let's start with Adele and Brian at UT Arlington.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Adele Quintana, and I am the NSF Noyce cohort leader for the University of Texas at Arlington. We have had the Noyce program for about 5 years here, so we have scholars in a wide range of levels of completion, all the way from juniors to those who are in their third year of teaching. So I am specifically in a position to support those scholars. My experience is mostly K-12 education. So as a cohort leader, I do workshops and I support them once they graduate and get their certification, and I follow them in the field for at least 2 years. And that's my role in the position.
Excellent.
Great.
I am Brian Fulcher, and I actually graduated last year in May, and this is my first year teaching. I joined the program my senior year last year, so I only had the benefit of the cohort for that 1 year, but it has been great. It's provided a lot of real-world insight. Like Ms. Quintana said, she was in the field and worked, and then she's brought her experiences in to share with us and give us more of those real-world applications through the different conferences and little meetings that we've had. So it's been a very big benefit for me outside of the normal cohort within the education program. So it's been kind of an additional support group. It's been really wonderful. I've enjoyed it thoroughly.
What are you teaching now?
I'm teaching 8th grade science.
Cool. Excellent.
Where I wanted to be, so I got lucky and
Perfect.
I'm loving it.
All right, so the next window I have... Oh, no, we got one more person there. Sorry.
Hi, my name is Latrice Daniels, and I'm actually a mid-level math and science major. I graduate this May. Yes, very excited. I'm actually student teaching right now, so in the program with the Noyce Scholarship, having all of those the seminars that we have and being able to go to the conferences that they set up for us is really helpful in my position where I am right now, because I get to really mold myself as the teacher that I want to be. So by the time I have my own classroom, I've got everything that I need already, and I'll be kind of equipped, I guess you could say, better teach a classroom. So I really enjoyed being a part of the Noyce Scholarship.
Excellent, excellent.
Awesome.
Okay, so the next screen I have is run by Amanda. It's the SIUE group. Hi, I think you guys are muted, but not in the Hangout. I don't know how you've muted yourselves else. How? Yeah, because you're not muted in the Hangout. You've muted your hardware somehow, so you need to go in and fix that. I'm going to move on to the other UT Austin group, right? Jennifer and Amanda. No, sorry, not Austin, UT Arlington.
We're UT Arlington, yes. Hi, how's it going? Okay, I'm Jennifer. I am a biology major. I'm like Latrice, also in my student teaching semester right now. So we'll graduate in May. Like she said, the Noyce program has been very, very helpful with all the seminars that we do. I'm actually part of the UTeach program here, so I'm not going through the College of Education, I'm through the College of Science. So it has been very helpful to learn all the extra little things that they don't necessarily teach us in UTeach. It's been a great experience, and we really appreciate it.
And I'm Amanda Fedorko. I'm a senior biology student also at UTA in the UTeach program. And just like Jennifer said, as somebody in the UTeach program, it's great to have every little bit of help and assistance and getting those tips on being a great teacher, because in student teaching you learn so much and it's invaluable to have all those hands-on experiences.
Excellent, excellent. Cool, thank you.
Nice.
All right, next we have the group from Wittenberg University. Haley, Kelsey, Russell, and Skylar. Is that everybody? Got everybody? So make sure you unmute yourselves. I'd like to hear from each of you. One sec. Yeah, I know the computer and webcam are all in different places.
Here we are. Hello, can you hear us now?
Yeah, thank you. Kathy is the disembodied voice.
I am here.
You're off screen. I see
I am here so that I am representing the co-PIs that cannot be here, Gina Post and Kathy Reinsel. Reinsel is part of the biology department, a faculty member, and Gina Post is a math education person, and they are both on sabbatical. So
okay.
I'm just here sort of helping out, and our program here has been trying to prepare STEM teachers for high needs schools.
Okay.
We have a about 1,800 students, which is much smaller than in the other universities here, but we wanted to, do as much as we could for as many students as possible, but we give them rather large, tuition remission, and so that has worked pretty well. We've been functioning here for about 4 years. This is our first year of having any students out in the field, and we are about to hear from them in May, as a matter of fact. But we've got 2 in student teaching right now, and then this lovely group that I have with me. Skylar, directly here, Skylar is a junior. And so next year will be her senior year, and the 3 others, Kelsey, Haley, and Russell, are sophomores, and they will just be entering their Noyce places in next fall.
Excellent. Welcome.
Yes. I don't, and I'm sure there may be some questions later, and there may be something more that Haley, you may want to say.
Yeah, just to reiterate, I'm Skylar, and you're fine. And I'm a junior here at Wittenberg, and I've actually, I don't know how your Noyce programs work at your other schools, but we have a Noyce internship along with the scholars, and I did my internship last summer in Richland, Washington. And that was really cool. I got to work with the Pacific Northwest National Lab and the Department of Energy. I specifically worked with the Chemical Mixture Methodology Department, even though I am a math major, and I want to teach high school or middle school math. But it was a really neat opportunity, and I'm currently co-oping with my Noyce mentor teacher in a middle school right now. I'm not in student teaching like the other people, but soon, next year, I will be student teaching, so it'll be fun.
Excellent, excellent.
But yeah, anyone else want to try something?
I'm doing the same internship this coming summer, working at PNNL, and I'm very excited. I'm doing some physics research. That's my field of study. And then so I just got partnered up with my mentor out there and found out what I'll be doing, working in the radiology lab that they have out there, doing some really interesting stuff. And so I'm excited to get experience out there and to take it back into the classroom with me.
Excellent, excellent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this past summer I had an internship through the community service office that was funded by Noyce. And what I did was I led a math club that worked with, I think it was 5th through 7th grade students, and we just did very hands-on activities with math and had a good time. And that was a really good experience with education, mainly.
Yeah, and
For you.
I just got the scholarship, so I'm excited to go to Washington in 2 summers, so looking forward to that and getting my mentor and getting into the classroom.
It's very cool. All right. Thank you so much, guys in Wittenberg. Back to the second SIUE screen, I have Mara and Chris. Need to unmute yourselves first?
I think we're unmuted now.
Yay! So you guys are just down the hall from me in the STEM Resource Center. Can I get a brief introduction?
Sure. Okay, so I'm Holloway, and I just am wrapping up my first year of having the Noyce Scholarship. I'm a junior, so I won't be student teaching until next spring.
Okay.
So it's been great to get some classroom experience before I normally would in the program.
Okay.
And I've really enjoyed the support from the Noyce Scholarship Program.
Great.
I'm Chris Foster. I'm also a junior. I'm technically a senior, but I'm a junior status-wise. I am a biology secondary education major. I'm also observing at a school district near us. And one of the main things that I really like that hasn't really been talked about with some of the Noyce scholars is the outreach aspect. I really enjoy the outreach. We do a lot of things such as Science Olympiad, Science Fair, stuff like that. So I really enjoy getting involved in that.
Excellent. And I see a line forming behind you. I think they've abandoned.
Yes, I think everyone's kind of came over to us. Jenna and us, so we're just going to go away.
Come on.
Hi, I'm Jenna. I'm a senior. I am a biology major, and I'm student teaching currently right now, and it's great.
Hi, I'm Courtney Thomas. I'm student teaching as well. I graduate in May. I'm math. I'm student teaching in 8th grade, and I actually wrapped that up today. So.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
Hi, my name is Amanda Hyatt. I am also graduating in May. I'm a senior. I also ended my student teaching today, high school sophomores in chemistry. So it's a pretty good day for all of us here at SIUE.
Excellent, excellent. And you're also president of the NSTA chapter?
Yes, I am. I am that go-to person. That is me.
Excellent, excellent. Any of the faculty, SIUE faculty, want to poke in?
Dr. Whittaker, Sharon, somebody come over here. And
Jessica.
Dr. Krim.
Yay!
I'm Jessica Krim. I'm one of the
Cupcake lady, those of you who've watched the show before.
Oh, yeah. Cupcake. I don't have any with me today, though. I am one of the faculty that's involved with these 5 scholars. We're in our first year, and these are the only 5 we have, so we love them all very much. And we do various things. We work with research. Do you want to introduce yourself? Sure. Okay. Next is Kelly Berry.
Hi, I'm Kelly Berry. I'm in the biology department, one of the people working on the Noyce scholarships. Chris Foster, one of our scholars, is working in my lab. And we are trying to get the kids, students, research experiences at the university and all sorts of outreach experience as well. It's a lot of fun.
Excellent, excellent.
Dr. Whittaker. Let's play the roving screen there. Yes, I'm Sue Whittaker. I'm in the chemistry department here, and one of my roles in the Noyce is that I'll be working with folks after they finish, which means I'm looking forward to dealing with some of the things you guys are already dealing with as our first cohort graduates. And we have them in placements.
Very cool, very cool.
Everybody. And last but not least,
yay!
Yay!
Here's my boss.
Yes, I'm Sharon Locke, and I'm director of the STEM Center here at SIUE, and we run a lot of outreach programs, many in high needs school districts, also Science Olympiad, Science Fair that the scholars mentioned. So we play a role in providing additional outreach opportunities for the students. And then we also have an internship program, a Noyce internship program for freshmen and sophomores, and we'll be selecting our first interns for this summer, and they'll be placed with community organizations to do science outreach.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Sharon. So yeah, I remember watching you guys work on that proposal, so it was a lot of work that was put into that proposal to get the whole program started, so yay! And yes, yes, Willie, we are the Cougars. Willie, you want to go next? You need to unmute yourself.
Okay. So I'm Willie Hunter. I'm the director of the Center for Math, Science, and Technology here at Illinois State University. We've had a Noyce project for about 5 years now. We've had 52 students go through it. Almost all of them are now out teaching in the field full-time. There's a few that are student teaching this semester, and the reason that there's no students with me today is because they're all out student teaching across the state. Just my job is basically to, well, I spend a lot of my time dreaming up stuff and making it happen, sometimes out of nothing, sometimes with a little bit of support behind me. People come to my office and say, I've got this idea, and I say, you know what, that's a great idea, go ahead and do it. And they walk out thinking, oh, Willie said I could do that, must be a good idea, and so then they go and do great stuff. So my job is kind of like mostly as a cheerleader.
Excellent. Okay. Read me a thing. And there's another person who just joined in. Okay.
It's me.
This is Courtney Thomas. Hi.
Hi. So we got another computer working.
Okay, so I don't need to send it to you. Okay. All right. Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna put you back on mute. You'll remember to unmute yourselves when you speak. So that's. It just went away. Who's the other one? It's fine. Okay. All right. So,
persistence.
Yes. Persistence. Awesome. So we have a question from Nancy. I'd like to open up to all of the scholars and interns we have here. Nancy wants to know: did any of you consider pursuing a STEM research path before you decided on teaching? Or if not, what was your tipping point that put you in favor of teaching science? Why are you interested in teaching science specifically? Go for it.
I can actually answer that one. Actually, for a long time in my life, I really wanted to be a researcher. And maybe far down the line, I haven't really ruled that out. But what happened with me is I took organic chemistry, and I was that one insufferable kid who really, really loved it. So I actually ended up tutoring my peers, and that's where I got started. And I found out that I really, really loved the process of the explanation and helping somebody really get that aha moment. So as I began to take, more and more interest in it, and tutoring more and more, then I came across the Noyce scholarship, and I was just lost. I, got completely sucked in. So I've been really happy with the choice that I made.
That's great.
Very cool.
Wow.
Anyone else have an answer for that? Either whether you decided to switch from research to teaching, or why maybe you picked science as your specialty for teaching?
Hi. Okay. Am I unmuted?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. Cool. So I came into college with a double major in math and music, and I just really didn't know exactly what to do with that. And I really liked math and I really liked music, but didn't quite understand what I was supposed to do with both of those. So little by little, I realized that in my math classes, I was like the other person talking, I was tutoring a lot, and I really enjoyed that. And with this Noyce program, I'm hoping that maybe in whatever school that I go to, if their music department maybe needs a little bit of help, I could help with that. And because I both do math, band and singing, so hopefully I would be able to do both of my talents at whatever school I decide to go to. So that was kind of what put me over the edge for teaching rather than doing research.
Very cool. I should add that Michael Jobin says math counts. I think that was
I have a comment.
Voice program.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I actually started back to school late. If you can't tell, I'm probably as old as most of the professors that are on this. To go back to get a degree in engineering, and after taking lots and lots of math courses, I realized that there was a lot of new graduates from high school that could not do math, and so I would spend a lot of my time helping them. And my wife suggested that rather than follow the tunnel with no light in an engineering degree that I was working on, that I go into teaching because I love teaching the math so much. And after I got into the math and science mid-level program with all of the science and the math that was involved in there, I really enjoyed the science and got lucky enough to actually student teach in 8th grade science and just fell in love with it. So not coming from necessarily a perspective of going into the research base, but from kind of another angle, I am ecstatic with my choice and absolutely love teaching. I love the kids. I would hope that I could maybe make them have those math skills that are required so that they could become future engineers. So that was kind of the path that I went on.
Very cool. Very cool. Sounds like a lot of people have had some teaching experience in a slightly more informal setting, which let you know, hey, this might be something to pursue. Any of the SIUE participants have a story they want to share?
Yes, we would.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I actually went to pharmacy school for 3 years, a professional pharmacy program in St. Louis, not the one at SIUE, before changing my major. So while my major now is mathematics, secondary ed, I'll also get endorsed to teach science, which is exciting, so that I can do both of them and hopefully do some interdisciplinary courses with those. But I guess I had always put teaching on the back burner. I can do that later in life, and then was in pharmacy school and realized I didn't want to put it off. So here I am.
I had a similar experience to Mara. I was pre-pharm my first year, pre-med my second year, hated both of them. The big reason why I didn't choose teaching from the beginning is the money. And then I took CI 200, our introduction courses, on a whim. I was just like, I've always loved education. I've always loved my teachers. I've always had a passion for science. And took it on a whim, and I loved it. Fell in love with the curriculum, fell in love with everything about it, and so here I am. And then I'm a secondary biology, so I'm getting my endorsement in biology in high school, but I have middle school endorsements in math, history, English, and science.
Very cool.
Oh, fantastic.
Very well-rounded. Awesome, awesome. Thank you, guys. Nancy also says cupcakes rule. This is for Jess. I know Nancy was watching that episode. So I'm curious, what does the Noyce program bring extra to you guys as teachers in training? What does the Noyce program do that's extra in addition to your schoolwork?
Can we talk some more?
First one, hit the button.
So in our program, at least where I'm at in the SIUE program, I wouldn't be in the classroom until the fall. But with the Noyce Scholarship, I was put in the classroom this semester, so I'm getting extra experience in the classroom, which is, of course, monumental for a pre-service teacher. And then, of course, the support and discussions that we're able to have with our peers and also with our mentors has been largely helpful in shaping us as educators. At least I think so.
and I agree with Mara. I took the CI 315A, the Introduction to Student Teaching. We have an observation semester, and then we have a student teaching semester. And I took that already before I entered the program, and then I
No. Did it just freeze?
now that I've taken it. And Dr. Krim has actually talked about maybe switching the program around so we can actually have a specific time frame where we may have more observation time so we're more prepared for the classroom. And I think that would be definitely beneficial for the secondary ed program.
So that's kind of things working out since SIUE is in its first year. That's kind of things that are being worked out. Excellent, excellent. What about some of the other windows? Make sure you
Who's
unmute
next?
yourself, Latrice.
Yes. Hi.
Okay.
I
have names.
For me, I think what the Noyce Scholarship brought to me was it really opened up my eyes to the world outside of the classroom and to the world of science elsewhere, like around the state of Texas. In being in the education program, you know, you read the books and you go to the classes and you do the work. But then once I joined the Noyce Scholarship this year, my senior year, I got to go to the CAST conference, and that was such an amazing experience to see so many other teachers from all over the state of Texas and from so many other places, and to pick their brains about their classrooms and to get more ideas and to see so many booths and vendors. It was just really overwhelming, and I got really, really excited about it. So I really thank the Noyce Scholarship for that, because going to that conference really, really changed the world of science for me.
Excellent, excellent. Cool. So we have the seminars, the groups, conference. Paying for conferences are expensive. That's a big deal. Anybody else?
All right. Yeah, I have something to say too. At Richland, Washington, when I was doing my internship, we also had a portion of the time where we talked to experts in bringing research into the classroom, which I thought was really neat, because one of the big things with kids nowadays is they want to know how math relates to their lives. They're like, I'm never going to use this in real life, but by being able to be in like that situation where it actually does relate to real life situations, it was really cool. And like some other people have said before, we actually have a Noyce mentor within the middle or high school, and you get to stay with them junior and senior year, and you get to build a relationship with them and learn from them, not just from one semester but from several semesters, which is definitely a benefit. And even after you graduate, they're supposed to and encouraged to stay in contact with you for at least a year or two afterwards. So in that first couple years of crazy teaching and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm a terrible teacher and I'm doing everything wrong, like they're able to get you through it, and it's a lot of good support.
That's fantastic. We have a comment from Guido Bibra for all of you. Seeing so many inspired young teachers really gives me a lot more faith in humanity and education. You all have my utmost respect. So that's from Guido Bibra over in Germany. Anyone else have positive extras that the Noyce program gives them that they want to share? How about the faculty? What has bringing the Noyce program to your school or university done to help with training teachers? Willie, maybe you want to chime in?
One of the things I've noticed is that we have a lot of scholars who don't have funds. They have to work and support themselves while they're trying to go to school, and just the funding and helping them pay for the education has been huge. And I see that a lot, that the students couldn't continue to become good teachers if they didn't have the funding help. So we have probably 70 scholars right now that have been through our Noyce program or currently in the Noyce program, and a lot of them are high need students themselves.
Okay. Anyone else from faculty? There's Jess.
Hi. Yeah, I would agree that the financial benefit has allowed different people to continue or extend their education. And also, I'm thinking now about what Amanda said, is that it's really useful for them to work in a group and support each other and collaborate with each other. And it's one thing for faculty to say something, it's another thing for the 5 of them to support each other.
Very cool, very cool.
That's great.
Yes. Oh, there.
I could add one comment.
Yeah, there you are.
Okay.
Go ahead, Willie.
Just that I know that for almost all of our scholars, they made the decision about teaching in advance of getting the scholarship. For, I'm going to say, 30 to 40% of them, the scholarship helped push them to the decision to become a teacher in the Chicago Public Schools. And then for a couple of them, I know that they were kind of wavering for a couple of years, about whether or not to accept the scholarship or not, and eventually they decided, you know what, if I take the scholarship, it'll force me to make the decision that I've been kind of hemming and hawing, and so it kind of allowed them to gave them permission to do what they kind of in their hearts wanted to do.
Very cool. Okay. All right, I think we heard from all those. Like driving the bus.
I think one of the amazing things about this program is that it gives everybody a great cohort and the support. I think a number of you have mentioned support as one of the benefits of this program, and I'd like to hear a little more about that. I don't know if some of you could maybe give an example or tell just a short story about a time when you really got some nice support from the others in this program that you may not have had if you were just on your own working your way through a teaching program. And because that sometimes just makes it such a big difference. It can make or break sometimes, your persistence and your will to keep going through the tough times that teaching sometimes brings you. So I'd love to hear some stories if anybody wants to share something.
I saw Mara and Chris getting all kinds of.
What's that all about? Come on.
There's a story there. Somebody helped somebody out of trouble.
Yeah.
You tell the story and I will listen. How about that?
Well, I guess our story also involves Dr. Krim.
Uh-oh. All right.
Yeah. Since Chris and I are in the same point-ish in our program, we kind of spend a lot of time talking about what our experiences are like in the classroom. And at the moment, we're both placed in East St. Louis public schools, which, for people who aren't familiar with this area, those are pretty much the roughest schools around. And it has been an interesting experience. But we also meet together with Dr. Krim to discuss the issues that we faced and how to cope with them, how to learn from those situations. So that's kind of where the support has come in for us.
Okay,
great. And we're friends.
And we've been friends anyway,
yeah,
so that helps.
And we are also returning for our second year next year together. So we're the 2 returners, the other 3 are graduating. So we get to transition the little Noyces into their program. So that'll be a fun experience.
That's good. It's really important. Yeah. Anybody else have anything about support that the program's given you?
I do, actually. Like I said before, I'm part of the UTeach program, and because it's through College of Science, it is kind of insular. So as a Noyce scholar, I believe that Latrice said that she was able to go to CAST. I did the same thing, and just through the different things that we've done, the seminars that we've run, the places we've gone, I've been exposed to more of the College of Education side of it. So I've met a lot of people and had a lot of different experiences. I mean, the UTeach program is just math and science in the upper levels. So I don't know anybody who wants to teach anything lower than 8th grade in our program. So it's very homogenous, really. It's very vanilla. So getting to meet these other people who are doing early childhood and things like that was very interesting. And we've kept in touch, and it's been really great.
I have to ask, what's CAS?
Huh?
Is it CAST?
CAST, CAST, Conference for the Advancement of Science Teaching.
Okay. Thanks.
Sorry about that.
The acronym I'm not familiar with.
We love acronyms.
Anyone else have a
Good, yeah,
support
yeah.
community type story to share? I'm looking to see if anyone's lips are moving. Okay. All right. Anyone have a story to share from their classroom experiences, either a really challenging or a really rewarding moment they've had in their, if you've done student teaching yet? I see
Wait.
frantic.
I'm here. Hi.
Courtney? Okay.
So I'm Jenna, if anybody forgot. So I'm Jenna, and I teach biology. I teach freshmen. Oh.
Did you put the mic on?
Yeah,
You
it's
can't
fine.
hear
We
me.
can hear.
Okay, so I teach freshmen, and I actually rented some lab quests from the STEM Center and some turbidity sensors, and we were testing pond water for limiting nutrients because we were just talking about ecology. And one of the kids was messing with the lab quest, and he's like, "Wow, I feel like a real scientist." And some other kids were like, "Yeah, this is so great. Like, I feel so smart doing this." So I felt it was so rewarding to get that supplies from the STEM Center and get that support. And then use it and make the kids feel awesome. So it was pretty great.
Oh, that's great. Great.
Excellent.
Oh.
So if you guys haven't seen that, we did a previous episode with Colin Wilson, who's manager of the Resource Center. It's a giant storeroom of science educational awesomeness and expertise. So you can go back and look at that episode. We did a whole episode just on the Resource Center.
And support. Yes.
And, yes, and all the support that we have locally. Anyone else have a challenging or rewarding story of teaching from their student teaching so far?
I do.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Amanda. I currently teach sophomores high school chemistry, and I had a particularly challenging student who didn't feel that she was competent in chemistry and that she could put forth the effort to work with chemistry. So last week we did an inquiry lab where they were given 6 chemicals. They were told the types of the names of the chemicals and what was in the bottles, but they didn't actually know which bottle contained what. So there were 6 unknowns. And the student who felt she was not competent in chemistry, she was the first one done and the first one that had all of them correct. So we kind of had a little dance party in the back of the room, and we just celebrated that accomplishment, and it was really, really good time for me because I was actually able to break through her wall of resistance for even just a day, and she was engaged in the class and just got something out of it instead of just, I can't do this. So that was a big moment for me last Friday.
That's great. That's really great.
Awesome.
I have a story. I actually work at an all-girls school in Grand Prairie here in Texas, and we are 79% Hispanic. And as you've had any kind of education courses, you've heard all of the banter about how a lot of the Hispanic girls are held back, and they don't want them to value education. And it's interesting to see how at the beginning of the year, how many of them are kind of shy and they don't want to participate. And then as the year goes along and you do get them involved and they are actually learning and they're succeeding, just how much confidence that they start to get, and they start talking about how they can't wait to get to high school, they can't wait to do more science in high school. Where one of our pathways is our STEM program in our high school, which is slowly building steam, and most of the girls that are there are going into that STEM program. So it's a huge reward for us to see that some of these kids that at home they don't value education and they don't value, especially their females, getting that higher education, that these kids are very interested in science and very interested in the STEM. So it's been a very positive, rewarding experience for me as a first-year teacher.
That's really great.
Really make a difference. Yeah.
I went to an all-girl high school that all's well with a STEM program, so there might be something to that. I think that was a good idea, even though sometimes I hated it at the time. Anyone else have? We have. Okay, I'm trying to find the question that I saw. Anyone can chime in if they have. Oh, here we go. Aside from financial challenges, what do you think your greatest challenge is going to be going forward as a teacher?
something that you.
I see lots of thinking faces.
That's a good question.
Maybe the faculty can chime in as well. Maybe you know what challenges they're going to face soon.
We know your challenge.
I'll chime in.
Sure.
I am a very naturally non-confrontational person. I'm currently student teaching physics, and I'll probably continue that going forward. Even though in Texas, when you certify in science, you can be certified for biology, chemistry, physics, and geology. So I'll probably stick with physics. So I will have older kids, and I really feel that classroom management will probably be my biggest issue. But the best part about Noyce is that Adele, who is also on the conference call, actually pretty regularly runs seminars on classroom management. So they've definitely been helpful so far, and she's really great about, you can go and you can ask a question, and she's really great about that. So probably what I'd say.
Excellent, excellent. That's what I would say my problem would be. So I can't teach.
Well, thanks for the kudos, Jennifer. That one of the things that I see as the scholars go out into the classrooms in the public school system is they are faced with having to work with departments that may not have a lot of training and inquiry in STEM science and more inquiry learning. And so they're working with the department, and the other teachers in the department are resistant to the new ideas that our scholars sometimes want to bring to the classroom. And so how to cooperatively work with their department and still get the science inquiry integrated into their classroom is sometimes an issue.
Okay. I feel like that was a conversation we had recently in Journal Club.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, about we know, there are so many great teaching methods out there that aren't being adopted quickly into educational programs, and that could be part of it, is that the person you're student teaching for isn't familiar with those techniques.
Yeah,
Wait, that sounds really familiar. We just had this conversation.
Right. Well, new teachers are, you can be agents of change, which is a really heavy burden in a way, but you come out of your recent courses and programs with all these great new ideas and full of enthusiasm, and you want to try all these great things, and then sometimes you do run into a system or a group of more experienced teachers that are just not ready to let you be all that you can be yet. So it is really it takes some skill to kind of navigate that and hang in there until you get your opportunity.
Agents of change.
Yeah.
Not agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Okay. We have a question from Atsurin. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Gugliucci. I'm gonna butcher your name.
Okay.
Atsurin Baltazan, asking about resources available for the scientists who are not going into teaching to better be able to communicate science. I am part of one such program that's specifically for astronomers called Astronomy Ambassadors. I think you'd have to look at the different science professional societies that run programs like that. And related to this question, I'd like to ask about some of the outreach experience that some of the Noyce scholars have had. In addition to your classroom teaching and your classroom learning, what kind of outreach experience have you had, and how has that helped you?
I have something. This isn't necessarily an outreach program, but I actually got to participate in a professional development program this past summer at Jet Propulsion Laboratory with the STEM teacher and researcher. What? Can you hear me?
Do I see a NASA meatball on your shirt?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I just presented my honors thesis actually on sample integrity for the sample return mission for Mars 2020. I actually got to work with Jet Propulsion Laboratory through partnership with STEM Teacher and Researcher program, which is through Cal Poly. It's a really great program, and they accept people who are in the Cal Poly program and Noyce scholars. So this is something that I think almost every pre-service teacher should do. They basically pair you up, kind of like the Noyce experience we have with our universities. They pair you up with a national laboratory, and they give you professional development opportunities, and you could do it up to 3 years. So 3 summers you could do this.
Very cool.
And they pay you really well, and you get to live in a certain place for free. So I got to live in Los Angeles for free, and they paid me like $4,500 for 2 months. And it basically connects research experience with, I guess, ways you can do inquiry-based lessons in the classroom. So I just want to let you guys know about this program because I don't think a lot of East Coast universities know about it because it's a West Coast thing. So, yeah.
What was the name of the program again?
It's called STAR, STEM Teacher and Researcher. I can type it in here.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you type that in, I can share that out to our audience as well as the video's link. Awesome. Thanks. Yeah, I mean it's pixelated, but I could make out the NASA logo.
Yeah, I know. Meatball right here.
Anyone else? I know some of you SIUE guys have been involved in outreach experience as well.
Yep.
So, we actually have several outreach. We have some really good. Give us a second. We're having some difficulties.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a lot of different. Am I good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you good.
Okay, so we have a lot of different outreach programs here at SIUE. Mosaic, which I think Sharon will probably have a better explanation for Mosaic than I would. We also have Science Olympiad, which I've participated in for the last 2 years. Science Olympiad is when groups of high school and middle school students come and they do science projects here at SIUE. And it's really interesting because I was a developer and a proctor for the Dynamic Planet unit this semester, this year. And it was really interesting because it was developing, co-developed with Ms. Cundy over here and then Dr. Krim. It was very interesting because it was something I had never really experienced. We had to do a lot of creativity, thinking outside the box, and it really prepared us like lesson planning and preparing lessons and stuff like that. And then in the past, I've also volunteered for science fair through judging. And one of the big things I really want to do when I get into a school, especially lower income schools, is I know that the school that I came from back home does not have they do not participate in science fair. I've never even heard of science fair until I came to SIUE. So I'd really like to get lower income schools involved in science fair, science Olympiad, other outside science resources, because I feel like that is where people really decide that they want to go into science, is by getting involved in projects such as that.
Very cool.
Great.
And way back, we did an episode about Science Olympiad way back in the beginning. So that's it's a science and engineering like challenges, little events, kind of like set up like an Olympic game tournament. So that's pretty cool that you, so proctoring that and developing those activities really gets students engaged, and science fair as well, which here we call the Science and Engineering Research Challenge.
Yes.
So judging that is a whole other ball of wax. I assume you were one of you had a few projects that you were judging. For that, you actually had time to spend talking with the students about their experiments. So that's really cool too. I was one of the best affair judges, so I had to run through every project, and I
didn't have a lot of time to talk.
I didn't have a lot of time. Anyone else? Maybe does anyone
other outreach experience?
Mosaic is. Do you want to talk about Mosaic? Because he mentioned Mosaic.
Yeah, that's it's Minds on Science Activities in the Community. If I can get that acronym out. And the idea is it's an out of classroom, it's after school usually program, and the idea is to engage students in science that's not only hands-on but more thoughtful in nature too. So minds on. And get them engaged and excited about science. So we have a nice range of activities. A lot of them are, design in nature, design challenges, going through scientific processes, learning about what it means to be a scientist and what science is all about, and basically having a lot of fun doing science. So that's been a program we've been running out of the STEM Center for about 3 years.
I'm a big proponent of after-school science programs and clubs, so that's great that you guys can do that as well. We have a question from Erin Morris. This is to all the participants again. What do you think have been the most important lessons you have learned during student teaching? So for those of you that have done student teaching, what do you think? Can you pull out one most important lesson?
It's a tough question.
Yeah.
Just
I see
one.
thinking faces.
One lesson.
Am I talking?
Hi.
Am I on here?
Yes, you're on.
Yep. Sorry. I think flexibility is the biggest thing I have learned while student teaching. You can have the best lesson plan. Things always go wrong. I've experienced so many things in my student teaching where, okay, the students aren't picking up on this lesson. Maybe we need to do an extra day. Or one day we had a lockdown at my school, which was a new experience. So just lots of things pop up, and the amount of flexibility you have to have, you know, whenever you're in your methods courses, they're like, make a 9-week plan. And you can do that, but things will change within that. So just being flexible and patient with the changes that are going to come.
That's great. That's really important. I remember back when I was teaching, we always used to say there's no such thing as a normal day.
Yeah.
There is never a normal day. Something will happen. It'll be a fire drill, or somebody will get sick in your room, or who knows. So yeah, that is a great lesson.
I want to give the Wittenberg students a chance if they have an answer. Sounds like their computer's about to die.
Oh.
So I think that's the group that has the battery. So if you have anything you want. I see a dog. I see a puppy. Oh my god.
I'm training her to be a service dog. So this is Ash. But yeah, she just wanted to say hi.
Everyone
She's a cutie.
Thank you all for the conversation.
Thank you, guys. Thank you,
Hey,
guys.
Thank you very much.
And like said,
Great.
you guys are definitely inspiring to the rest of us. So awesome. All right, so we're gonna get that in before their battery ran out. Anyone else? Anyone else have a lesson, what important lesson they've learned from their experience as starting teachers?
I've got one.
Yeah.
I found that making the personal connections with the students really helps to motivate them. Throughout student teaching, and we're there for several months, and at the beginning, you don't really know the students, and they don't really know you, and you can kind of identify the ones that are having a hard time with the subject, and it's hard to figure out, what pushes their buttons, what's going to make them make the extra effort. And even now, it's been like a month and a half. And I feel like just making those personal connections with the students, like making the phone calls to the parents and letting them know that you care, that you're invested in their education and their future, and that you're there for them, they're totally willing to put forth the effort once they know that you're on their side. Like, they're so used to kind of painting themselves versus the world sometimes, they're teenagers. And just letting them know that is a great way to start the year.
Excellent. Very cool. Very cool.
Wonderful. Yeah. Very important. Making a connection.
Any other questions that you have? She's the teacher of this pair. So
I was thinking, if you guys could picture yourselves like maybe 5 years in the future or something, what would be one thing you might remember about the Noyce program? And I don't know, I think you probably kind of talked about a lot of the really important things, maybe the support being one of them, but anything else that you maybe think that in the future you'll think back and go, yeah, that Noyce program, really glad I had that?
Can I say my whole student teaching experience?
Yes.
And the reason I say that is I was at a different placement for my observations, and I didn't get moved here until January.
Okay.
And I've just had such a positive experience with the school, with the teacher I've been placed with, just with the kids in general. It has given me nothing but a positive experience that I don't know if I probably would have had a good experience at the school I was at, but I don't know. I'm just so thankful that I was given the opportunity to be here in this school. And I also got the opportunity to go to NCTM in New Orleans. Me and Mara actually just got back from it on Saturday. And that is just an opportunity that I would not have been able to afford without this program. And everyone there was just shocked. Wow, you know, you're a student and you're here. That's really great that you're getting this experience before you're even in the field. And it was such an important opportunity to have pre-service. And now that I'm wrapping up my student teaching, I just could not be happier placement. So I've just had such a positive experience with my whole thing that wouldn't have happened if I didn't get the scholarship. So that's my answer.
That's fantastic. That's great. Great. Yeah. Anybody else? Final word here, huh?
Can I answer this one too? I know I've been kind of a chatterbox.
No, go for it.
Kind of linked to what she said, I would say it'd probably be the experiences that I was able to have. I was able to go to the science teacher convention recently here in Texas, and honestly, because so many of the teachers really want to go to this, it usually ends up being the best teachers in the department, the ones who've been around the longest, who get funded to go. So for me to be able to go as a student teacher, I mean, I'd never been in a classroom before this, and you know, everybody there has been there for 20 years, and you know, all the publishers are there because they assume that you have some kind of pull in your district, you know. Just being able to go to things like this, and I'm not going to have the chance to do that again for years, honestly, but being able to do things like that has just been amazing. It's been wonderful.
That's great. It is rare for, yes, somebody, it's just student teaching to go, so, yeah.
Cool, cool.
All right.
All right. Well, we are at the hour, so I am going to wrap it up real quick and then say goodbye to all of our lovely guests. So thank you, everyone, for joining. I realize that the setup was a little chaotic, so thank you for...
But wow, everybody did it.
Yay.
So talk about being flexible and persistent.
Yes,
Great.
yes. Thank you guys for watching, your questions, your comments. Like I said, I think Guido said it best for all of us. You guys are totally inspiring, and that's fantastic. And I think that's it. So this video will be archived on YouTube. I can share with, actually the link I sent you guys earlier should still work. If I'll probably just share the YouTube link with you guys. We'll have this archived on our channel as well, so this will be around for all of the internet's posterity, I guess. So thanks, you can come back and look at this. And for everyone, thank you for watching. We continue with our normal hangout schedule. On Friday, we have the weekly space hangout hosted by Fraser Kane. We'll do some wrap-up of your astronomy and space news from the week. Right here. Sunday night will be the weekly space hangout. I think that's still happening around 8 p.m. Pacific, so if it's too cold, too cloudy where you are, show up for the virtual star party. You can look through our astronomers' telescopes virtually, which is fantastic and so spoiling. And what else? Astronomy Cast, assuming Pamela's back from the Czech Republic on Monday.
Maybe.
I think they've got to catch up a little bit because they've been both on travel. And then next Wednesday, we'll be moving back to the earlier time for Learning Space, which is 1 p.m. Central. So 11 Pacific. 6 GMT, I think. I will.
Can't do the time zones
I can't do it in my head.
anymore.
Don't trust it to be do it in my head. It'll be in the newsletter. It'll be all the usual places. So I'll create an event for that. So that is it. Thank you, all of our teachers, our student teachers. Thank you.
You guys are awesome. Really,
Noyces.
inspiring.
Noicers. All right.
Yes, go forth and teach.
Go forth and teach. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, everybody. Well done, Nicole.
Bye, thanks.
So I am Nicole Gugliucci.
I'm Georgia Bracey.
And we are your hosts from CosmoQuest. So thank you for joining us this week. Feel free to share the link, share this hangout with people. I know this is late for our European friends. Sorry, Guido. I think you said it's 1:30 a.m. his time.
Still up, aren't you?
You're still
yeah,
up.
Come on. He is.
Hey, Guido. And Nancy. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi, everybody.
Nancy.
As usual, we will be using the Q&A app to get your questions, so wherever you're watching this, if on Google+, YouTube, or anywhere that it's embedded, click on the Q&A app to join the conversation, and we will see your comments and questions there. And I will try and keep on top of them and keep them coming throughout the show. So anytime you want to add in a comment or a question, just feel free to send it in there and we'll get it on the show. So we have a huge group of awesome people with us today. We somehow managed this with under 10 connections. I'm actually quite impressed. So what we're talking about is the Noyce Scholarship Program through the
once they graduate and get their certification, and I follow them in the field for at least 2 years. And that's my role in the position.
Excellent.
Great.
I am Brian Fulcher, and I actually graduated last year in May, and this is my first year teaching. I joined the program my senior year last year, so I only had the benefit of the cohort for that 1 year, but it has been great. It's provided a lot of real-world insight. Like Ms. Quintana said, she was in the field and worked, and then she's brought her experiences in to share with us and give us more of those real-world applications through the different conferences and little meetings that we've had. So it's been a very big benefit for me outside of the normal cohort within the education program. So it's been kind of an additional support group. It's been really wonderful. I've enjoyed it thoroughly.
What are you teaching now?
I'm teaching 8th grade science.
Cool. Excellent.
Where I wanted to be, so I got lucky. And
Perfect. Good job, Lee. Midwest Regional Conference.
What?
Oh, we're hot.
Poor Noyce.
Our microphone's on. Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to this week's Learning Space. Yay!
Hello.
We have a full docket of guests this week. So the National Science Foundation. If you want to learn more about the program in general, it's nsfnoyce, noyce.org. I'll share that link in the show notes and in the comments in a bit. But first, I'd like to hear from each of these lovely people at their lovely institutions. And as I mentioned in the pre-show, I'm going to start left to right from how I see it. It's going to be slightly different for you guys. But let's start with Adele and Brian at UT Arlington.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Adele Quintana, and I am the NSF Noyce cohort leader for the University of Texas at Arlington. We have had the Noyce program for about 5 years here, so we have scholars in a wide range of levels of completion, all the way from juniors to those who are in their 3rd year of teaching. So I am specifically in a position to support those scholars. My experience is mostly K-12 education. So as a cohort leader, I do workshops and I support them